everyone, to the Big Divide. I am your host, Devie, and the purpose of this podcast is to get with men and women on a weekly basis to discuss the pros and cons of dating in your 30s and 40s. So tune in every week on YouTube at The Big Divide. That's DEVIDE. Welcome to another episode of The Big Divide. I am your host. My name is Devie. And I welcome everybody who's watching in, or if you be watching this later. This is a special show for me today because I have two special guests. Not only they're just special guests, but these ladies are extremely special to me for a couple reasons. One, I've been knowing these ladies for a very long time, but they happen to be married to my two best friends in the world. So this is real cool for me because they saw what I was doing with the podcast and they was like, have us on. We would love to be on and support you. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you ladies, all right? And then because we'll get right into it. But so to my left is my sister. Both of them, these are my sisters. My sister Astral, she is married to my best friend Jermaine. And so welcome, Astral.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
glad to be here.
I'm glad you're here. So I got a gift for both of you ladies. But before I give you the gift, and to my right is, now this woman has been knowing me longer than anybody out here, outside of my mom and all that. She's been knowing me the longest. And so this is Sheena, or as we've been affectionately known when we were growing up, our 6th and 7th grade teacher. She called her Sheena E, and I'm Devie Wonder.
Mm-hmm. She's Sheena Bug now.
Yes,
we renamed her Sheena Bug.
Sheena Bug now. Yes. But collectively, when we're together though, when it's us two in the room, it's Sheena E and Devie Wonder. So y'all, no. Yes. So ladies, I have a gift for you. I give all the ladies that come on to the show. You get a rose.
I want the yellow.
Oh, you want the yellow one?
Oh.
You okay with her getting the yellow? Because you want the red one.
Yeah,
so Sheena gets the red one. Ashel gets the yellow one.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ladies.
Thank
you.
Yeah. So that's my gift to you guys.
Oh,
thank you.
Show my appreciation for you all taking the time to come out and be on this podcast.
Oh,
thank you.
Anytime.
Good. So make sure y'all show those to y'all husbands.
Oh, sure will.
We will.
Y'all got to get it together, boys.
That's right.
Okay. So this podcast is going to be a little different from what I've been doing so far, only because typically with the Big Divide, this is me talking to single women who are out here dating, and the premises of this is for to get the pros and cons that they're having in dating, from in their 20s and 30s and 40s, and so and the reason why I'm doing that is my goal is to help the ladies have a better understanding of the very men that they want to date. Because I say this, and I say it with all, I try to say it with all, be humble about it. I'm not trying to be an asshole about it. But ladies, and y'all can tell me whether y'all agree or disagree, but growing up, you all don't have a need to really know much about men to date them. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Like men, we have to know a lot about you ladies. Okay. We got to know what y'all like, what y'all don't like, what turns y'all on, what turns y'all off. We got to know how to say things to even get your attention. You guys could just walk outside and men just want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. So that's what I mean by women don't have a need to know anything about men in order to get their attention. But it's different for men. Mm-hmm. And so because of that, when men flock to you all, it's just, hey, you get to pick who you want, right? So that's what it typically is. Yeah. But I also say women don't pick well. They don't pick their men very well.
That's an opinion.
Well, it could be opinion, but I'm just telling you. Well, I'm going to tell you why it's not we're going to get into it. I'm going to show to you why it's not an opinion.
Let's get into it.
It's going to be a fact. Okay.
Right.
So it's going to be a little different, though, because you guys are married.
Right. Yes.
So I'm going to be talking to you two from a standpoint of you've already secured your man.
Absolutely. But we had to get to that point.
You had to get to that point.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to talk about because I truly believe that you both have insight to what a lot of women see, because you all have what a lot of these women out here want. They want husbands. Mm-hmm. They want to have a family. Mm-hmm. You guys have that, and I know it to be a successful family. Mm-hmm. So that's what we're going to get into. So I do have some questions for you guys. Is that cool for me to say, you guys? For you ladies, let me make it special because for
We take
you
ladies. We take guys. We
y'all know what I mean, but
we know what you're saying.
But for the standpoint, because y'all are really ladies, so I'm gonna keep saying ladies.
Okay.
I'm gonna say so for you ladies. All right. My first question I have for you all is, what is the role of a woman in a man's life? And I'm gonna start with you, Astral. What is the role of a woman in a man's life?
Okay. I mean, hey, that depends on the day. Okay? I can honestly say that my role as a wife, it varies. I'm the confidant. I'm the encourager. I am the helpmate. I am, his safe place when he needs to be. I am, I'm going to get you in check when you're doing something that you're not supposed to. I'm the one that's going to always, be behind you, encouraging you. So it really just depends. The role of a wife, the role of a woman in a marriage is multifaceted. It's just, we have so many different roles. We wear so many different hats. And so I really can't define it in a nutshell in one thing, because it just depends on what my husband needs me to be on any given day.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Sheena, Sheen.
I guess I can agree with Astro. My thing is, being a wife, you wear so many different hats. And at that time, I could be like his nurse, his secretary, in his ear when he's doing something wrong, motivating him, promoting him, pushing him. So it all, like she said, it all depends on what's going on in his life at that moment and what I need to be. So, I do that little shake. And then I got to turn into whatever he needs at that moment.
Whatever he needs at that moment.
Mm-hmm.
So let me piggyback off of something you said.
Mm-hmm.
You're in his ear.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you in his ear? Even if he's doing something wrong, how do you convey that?
My thing is, like, say if he's having a problem at work, I'm going to always be supportive and push him, but then I'm going to always let him know, the right way and the wrong way, and let him know, the consequences of certain things if he decides to do, whatever he decides to do at that moment. I just try to be in his ear and say, okay, now, if you do it like this is what's going to happen. But, hey, I'm with you. I'm with you all the way.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to come to you, Asher. So y'all can use your husband's name.
Yeah.
Okay, so Sheena's husband, my best friend, is Dexter, right? And Astral's husband, his name is Jermaine, right? Mm-hmm. Germ. Deck, we got Deck, and we got like Deck, D-E-X, right? Dex. Mm-hmm. We call him Deck, though. We don't say Dex. We say Deck.
Deck.
Yeah, we from Atlanta. It's
Right.
Deck.
Deck.
And Jermaine, G-Main, Germ. Main, all those pet things.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
so same thing to you, Astro. So if Jermaine is, you gotta set him straight. How you convey that?
I mean, I think with a man, you have to know your husband and know the person that they are. I mean, with him, I know that he's a strong-willed person, strong-minded person. He's stubborn. So I can't come to him in the same way that he is, right? When I want to influence him or to be in his ear or to get him to hear it my way or do it my way or get him to look at things from all sides, I have to do it in a more softer way or a more influencing way, a more, making him think sometimes that it's his idea when really it's mine.
Wait. Say
Just,
that again for the people in the back.
I have to get him to think it's his idea when it's really mine.
Yeah.
But it's the way that you influence, your husband. It's kind of like that whole thing of being a leader at work. The same way my boss. Sometimes I have to get her or get him to thinking that it's all his idea or her idea, or they put that in motion, but really I'm behind the scenes being the neck that's turning the head in every direction. So it's, being that kind of wife.
Yeah.
All right, ladies. So before I go to my next question with y'all, because this is good. I like this because one of the things that I'm talking to women, when I say, especially the women that I'm involved with, right? I say, if you want me to do what it is that you want me to do, the best way to do that is you gotta be soft with me. You gotta be all in your femininity with me.
Yeah.
Right.
And so, for example, if you want me to, it could be something that you want. If you came to me and said, "Hey, Devie, you know what? I really like that thing there. What would you think if how I would look in that?"
Right.
Right. And I would be like, "Oh yeah, I think that look good on you. You really like that? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's nice, isn't it? Don't you think it's nice?" Mm-hmm. You see and her demeanor, you would get pretty much anything from me.
Yep.
So I'm glad to hear that y'all say that. So before I go to the next question, here's where I want to go. I'm gonna start with you, Sheena. Is what got you to that point before you got married? Because obviously, before you guys got married, did you know this coming into the marriage? Were you taught to be this? How did you know to be the softness that you are?
I can say I'm more of an old school type person. I come from that generation of, you get to know that person, you date. We live together. I think that what really helped us out, being in that one-on-one with each other, and we live together, and then just being able to get to the relationship. I tell people all the time, marriage is something you work at every single day. It's not going to be the same every day. Even me going into my 50s, I'm still learning more every day on how to be a wife, on how to support him, on how to just be there for him and make this marriage work. We was young when we first got married.
Yeah.
I mean, we was young. So really, to be honest with you, we grew up together. We got married in our 20s, early 20s.
Right, yeah.
So, we made mistakes together, and then, we got along, we didn't get along, but my thing is, I'm just old school. I'm the type of person I work at it. Just try to figure out where I fit at and what I can do to help him through this marriage and to help him in life, period, when it comes to things that he's dealing with.
Yeah. But when you say you're old school, like, where did you get that? Where did you learn that from? Did that come from home, or did you
My grandparents, I can say back then, people was married for a long time. My grandparents, they was married for 54 years?
Yeah.
They had 12 kids.
Yeah.
That's where I come from, that generation. So seeing her, when he get out work, she making sure his plate is there, she's cleaning up, but she still have to work and still have to tend to her kids or whatsoever. But then also he'll see when she's not feeling so well and she's overwhelmed, he go and make sure she has a bath drawn. So I saw that. I saw that type of interaction with my grandparents, that old school, because when they first got married, they didn't even know each other. Back then, they were just together. They just got together. They just got married.
Yeah.
They didn't know each other.
Yeah.
They falling
There was
in
no
love.
shacking up.
There you go. See,
was
they
no
didn't
shacking
have
up.
what we have, getting to know each other. See, we knew each other in school.
Yes.
And then we got to dating and, moving in, and then we having a family and we getting married and building a life together. So my thing is, when I say old school, I look at my parents and my grandparents. That stage of when they had 13, 14 kids. Yeah.
What we would say a slew of children.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
A slew of kids.
Right.
Yeah. But, it's just something that I'm still learning though.
Yeah.
I'm still learning.
So, but basically though, it was something that you witnessed, you viewed, and you just learned from that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Astral, how about you?
I mean, similar. We, back in the day, I think old school versus new school, right? The old school took pride in being a homemaker.
Yes.
Old school took pride in preparing a house.
Yep.
Old school took pride in looking beautiful and being beautiful for their husband.
Yep.
Old school, value family values and reverencing their husband and respecting their husband. New school, okay, it's like new school is like, okay, I'm independent.
Yeah.
I'm doing this on my own. I'm a self-made woman. Okay, but all of the new school, now is not meshing, right?
Yeah.
Because I do think that a lot of times these women now have not been reared and learned to, be that softer woman for your husband, to learn how to, now is not the time to go blow to blow. I'm not going to say what he say and do it. Okay, I'm in my soft girl space. I'm in my chill down mode. I'm the wife, okay?
Yeah.
And he's my husband. So I know how when, things get a little bit hot and heavy, okay, I'm just going to turn around and just leave the conversation because hey, this is going, but now new school is like, oh, I'm going there with you.
Yeah, because that's what I was gonna say. Wait a minute, y'all don't get in there. Y'all don't get in there and fight with y'all man. Y'all don't be aggressive with him.
Well, no. I mean, I'm to the point now. Now I'm not gonna say, that marriage is perfect. Like you're not gonna argue or none of that. No, we do. We argue, but where we are in our marriage now is wisdom.
Yeah.
I have wisdom enough to know that me going toe to toe and going back and forth is not leading to anywhere.
Right.
So I'm at the wise point in my marriage to know that some things, it's not even worth it. I'm not going to even mention it. I'm not going to even argue about it. I'm not going to say anything because it's not worth it. Now, if I feel like there are things where, okay, I got to put my foot down. This is making me unhappy. I don't like it. I'm going to say something. But every single thing is not worth a toe-to-toe. Yeah. Every single thing is not worth, an argument. So I think, to Sheena's point, that's the difference between that old school rearing that you saw your parents and grandparents and things of that go through, where we took pride in having a good marriage and, taking care of the household, where that doesn't happen a lot now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, and it's interesting because when you even say you're gonna go toe to toe with him, for me, I know y'all husbands, I know y'all guys, right, and I know you, I know both of you. So what I'm asking is, I already know the answer to this, but for our audience, I want to know. When you say you got to go toe-to-toe with him, it's kind of like the question I asked you. How do you do that? Because if you talk to other women, they like to feel like they got to be aggressive, that masculinity, and they got to come. And when they say they checking their men, it's a whole different thing. Okay. But if you had to check your husband, that you got to go toe-to-toe with him. Because I personally think I don't want to hear about a woman saying she got to go toe-to-toe with me. But again, I know you all and I know your husbands. What would you say, Sheena, when you say if you got to go toe-to-toe?
Okay, so this is the thing. I tell Astra this. I think me and Astra are married to the same type of person because they act just alike. When I say they're best friends, they act just alike, splitting the image, stubborn. They know everything. You can't say anything. At that moment, they right. So I feel like with my husband, what I have to do is, I have to, like she said, you have to know when to say something and when not to say something, when to let things go. So if, say, like me and him having a moment, and I speak my piece, but I say it in a way where I'm not bossy or coming at him. I speak my piece, and I move on. I'm not got to the point now I don't argue, I don't be aggressive, I don't yell, but I feel like when I do that, like like say it in a peaceful way, or just prove my point, and then I walk away and go in my room, or just like I let it go. I find that he comes back because he don't sat there and thought about it. You know what I mean? And he'll come back like, okay, all right, I get what you're saying. Okay, you know what I mean? Instead of just being that aggressive and arguing. And don't get me wrong, I've done it. And that's when we first was trying to figure things out, the beginning of the marriage and everything. But as you get older, you learn different ways on how to better your relationship with someone and how to discuss things and how to not get it to that point where you have to be separated because you're just so at each other.
Give the people a sense of how long you all been married, because you said y'all.
We've been married going on 25 years.
25 years. So that's 25 years in, guys.
Yeah.
Astral? Jermaine?
We've been married for 9 years this year and been together going on 15 years.
So 15 years of knowing each other.
Yeah.
9 years of marriage. So understand
And really
this.
knowing each other longer than that.
Yeah, because y'all didn't date in high school. We knew you.
We did not.
We knew you in high school.
Yep.
She's the little sister. She right behind us. So she used to like follow us around.
Whatever. Y'all used to follow me around.
Follow around.
People,
I
they
ain't
used to
follow
follow me around.
I ain't follow nobody
Okay.
around.
Right.
Y'all know I was Mr. Everything in high school, but
Same.
that's neither here or there. Anyway, no. So we're talking some years in.
Yeah.
Right? Y'all. This ain't like you just knowing these men. Y'all
Right.
just meeting these men. And it is funny, Sheena, you say that they are the same.
Yes.
They have similar personalities.
Very similar personality.
Yes.
Yeah.
And man, I love these two men to death. Like I would lay my life on the line with them. We all would do that for each other. So
Yes.
y'all need to understand what type of men. I know these guys.
Yeah.
I know them. I know what stock they come from. We grew up together, and I know them. So to hear that from you all is to hear you say that, I'm like, yeah, I know that. So
Yeah.
I know y'all ain't just
Making
saying
it
this.
up.
Yeah, y'all ain't just saying this for the podcast,
Right.
but y'all being real.
Yeah.
So, okay, all right. So this wasn't a question, but it's going to lead into me. Because when you all hear the word submissive, tell me what comes to mind or what it does for you, Astral. When you hear the word submissive to your husband.
When I hear the word submissive to my husband, it makes me think about the fact that we need to be submissive to one another. Right?
So you think your husband should? So you say he should also be submissive to you?
I think you know what? It's funny that you say this because we actually had this conversation last night.
Did y'all?
And you know, him and I, we will go. Now, that's one thing about me and my husband. We have debates. We will go back and forth and have heated debates about whatever the topic is because he's very passionate about what he feels and what he thinks.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm very passionate about what I feel and I think too.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like a woman should submit to her husband wholeheartedly, right? I am in agreement, with that. But one thing I always like to say, it goes back to when we think about submission, we think about we think about leadership, right? And the role of a leader, to me, one of the most important things that a leader has to always do is to mirror what it is that they want for the people that they lead
That's true.
to do.
Okay.
Right?
That's true.
And so I feel like in order to, need your wife and want your wife to be submissive as a leader, you have to show your wife what it looks like to be submissive.
I like that.
Okay.
I like that.
So
I
that
like
means that, in this particular area of our marriage, I'm going to submit to my wife in this area because I know she knows this area better. Just like Sheena said earlier, like, hey, I'm the secretary. I know how to do this. I handle this. So in this area, I'm going to be submissive in this way because I'm going to show my wife what it looks like to be submissive.
But Astral, is that submission on his part though? Is that submission?
It is. You should mirror, to me as a leader, you should show what it looks like to be submissive in order for your wife to be submissive to you.
So I get what you're saying. However, from a guy's perspective, I'm going to tell you, one, let's first get where submission comes from first off.
We know it's biblical.
It's biblical.
Yes.
Right? And for those who don't, or who may say, well, I'm not biblical, I'm not Christian or whatever faith or that. Across all the religions, it says the same thing. Across all the religions, it talks about a woman submitting to the man.
Okay.
You can be Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Christian. They all say the same thing, and they say it's from God. So we can get an agreement that submission for a woman to a man comes from God. We agree on that.
That's what
I
everybody
agree.
say.
Yes,
Okay,
I
that's what
agree.
everybody say, or can we agree on
We
it?
can agree.
the part that you said about all other religions, I can't agree on that because I haven't studied all other religions to say that that's true. But what I can say that's true in Christianity, that a woman is to submit to her husband.
Okay, so
Yes.
for you all, because you all consider yourself Christian, you follow the Christian faith.
Right.
Okay,
Yes.
great.
Right.
Now I've studied all the religions. Y'all know I was in the military. I've been to different countries.
Okay.
And so it behooves you to know about the cultures and the religions.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm saying to you all, it's across the board. Okay, but for the sake of this, and I was talking about like to my audience, right?
Okay.
Because they may say, well, I'm not Christian. You ain't talking about me, and I'm like, no, I'm talking to everybody.
Okay.
So submission comes from God, the Creator, the Father, Yahweh, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was said that wives submit to your husbands. Never heard him say husbands submit to your wives. And I'm bringing that up because you're saying, I get it. And it sounds good. And I like your point. He needs to mirror to his wife.
In every way.
But what I would say is a good leader knows how to conduct themselves accordingly and sacrifice, like being dominant versus submission. Because when you submit yourself to anything, to anyone, you're giving up all authority and saying, okay, I'm going to follow your leadership. I'm going to follow the instructions and the guidelines and the rules and the regulations and stuff that you've set forth, right? However, to what you're saying, I'm a man just doesn't submit. It's
That's
just not the
problem.
same.
But that's the thing though, is we come from a generation back then where, the woman's in the kitchen, the husband works, the woman's at home taking care of the family, the kids, and the household, and they expect to do everything there, then also be submissive towards their husband. But I think a lot of people get submissive, like they have their own definition of ways of what submissive is.
Today's women, they hate hearing it. They cringe, they want to fight,
Right.
or they tell you about yourself about when you say being submissive to a man.
Yeah.
Or they'll say, well, if the right man comes along. And I push back on that with women because I'm saying you have to show yourself to be submissive, because men, when we see those qualities, that's what makes us choose you.
True.
Yeah, I mean, again, I feel like a woman should definitely submit to her husband. But I think that, I don't need for my husband to bolster that or to talk about me submitting to them or being submissive, because
And I think
when
that's
he
the
is my
problem, yeah.
husband, I'm automatically going
do
to
that.
yield to
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I
So
agree with that. I agree with
it's that the whole male chauvinist way that sometimes men come across when they use that
Word, yeah.
phrasing
But see,
around
this is why
being
I also,
submissive.
and this is why I also established that I know your husband.
And then I'm
right?
submitting to my husband, not my
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
There you go. It's a big difference.
I'm not
Yes.
submitting to a side piece. I'm not submitting to any of that. I'm submitting to my husband. And so again, men have that confused as well. I'm not submitting to a boyfriend.
Well, okay, but at some point, even before before he becomes your husband, though, you are submitting to him.
I think it's limits, though. I think it's limits to when you being submissive when you're in a relationship as boyfriend, girlfriend, or fiance, whatever. My thing is, I guess it all depends on the time. It all depends on where you at in that relationship. I think us as women, we do. It's just the nurturing in us.
That's the natural thing.
It's just something we do.
Yeah.
But I think that men do take advantage of that, because we have to understand, we have to hold back sometimes, because if we're going to do wife duties and be submissive and then we're girlfriends, that's a problem.
Right.
So I agree with, so ladies, I'm on the same page with you all with that. See, this is what I have to, I want to get established.
Mm-hmm.
You're not submitting yourself to a man that cannot lead you, that
Right.
you don't want to follow.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the men that you're saying are taking advantage of that, those are not the men you all need to be following. You don't even give him that. So when women say, oh, this man, it has to be the right man. Well, okay, if you're not picking the right man, and then, and if a man has to say to you, you should submit to me, I agree with you. That's not the right man.
Yeah.
Because a leader doesn't have to tell you I'm a leader.
That's true.
Right.
He shows you he's the leader.
That's
right.
His presentation is
Yeah.
everything.
I
And
agree.
y'all want to follow that.
I
So
agree.
you get in line with that because he's demonstrated that. So, but when women are out here talking about, oh, I'm not just going to follow any man. Well, this is why I'm also saying, make sure you're picking the right man
Right.
to submit to, and we won't have this issue. So when someone is saying, are you submissive to your man, you don't have a problem. Because you all didn't have a problem when I said it, because you understood.
Yeah.
And you all are submissive to your men.
Right.
You don't have, like that word, you didn't cringe.
No.
Right?
No.
So that's why I'm saying in relationships, in dating, in marriaging, you establish these things, and there's a understanding. You don't have to discuss it. Dexter ain't going around telling you, hey, Sheena, submit to me today. Like he gotta tell you that every day, right? That ain't what's happening. I know Jermaine ain't doing that.
No.
Right?
No.
But you all know and understand because y'all makeup and what you are as
Right.
women.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like what you said. Yeah.
So that leads me into my next question, which is, if you had the opportunity to talk to younger women today who are going to see this, and they say, you know, because y'all ladies, y'all want to give y'all are in y'all 40s, right?
Close to 50.
Close
They-
to 50.
Yeah, so they looking good, right? So we all up there, right?
Yep.
If you had to talk to the younger generation that say, you know what, Astral, Sheena, I hear what you ladies are saying. I see what y'all have. We know y'all got the husbands, y'all got the families, y'all got beautiful homes. I mean, if y'all seen their lifestyle, you have to be envious. So I'm putting that out. I'm bragging on you guys. So, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm bragging on you all. However, if you had to be able to talk to the younger women and they say, hey, what did you do? How did you get to this point? What advice, I'm gonna start with you, Sheena. What advice would you give younger women?
For marriage or just relationships?
Relationships, because the relationship has to start before marriage.
Right.
So before you can get to the marriage, because depending on how your relationship is from the start is gonna determine whether you're gonna get to the marriage or not.
I think with me, my advice to them is to find themselves first. You know what I mean? Go to school, live your life first. Sometimes, you know, we got married really, really, really young. You know what I mean? And I don't regret it at all. I just feel like we had to grow up together. Because we was, 20, 21? We had to grow up together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We was going through this life together, which is good for me because I had my partner in life to be there with me. But I would say, you know, take your time. It's not a hurry in getting married. Find out who that person is. You know, what you can give towards that relationship and what that person can give towards the relationship also. And don't just accept anything. Because once you start accepting anything, to me personally, they take it a little further and they're going to keep trying to take as much as they can or try to get you to do, you know, things because they know that you accept certain things.
So, because, you know, today, it's no secret, today's women, they put more emphasis on school.
Yes.
And being independent and taking care of themselves first. And honestly, that could be problematic.
You think so?
I do believe so because, especially in our community, in the black community. Now, my audience is going to be an array of people, but I'm to the black community, to the black ladies. That could be problematic because no one is saying that you shouldn't go get your education and go to school and get educated. The issue though that we're having is these women are going to do that and saying we don't need a man. I'm gonna do all this stuff in spite of a man, and they're saying I'll wait to get my man, and then they find themselves being 30, 40 years old. They haven't secured a husband, and then it's really almost too late.
No, I agree with that. And my thing is, what you're saying is the women now, they get an education, they get their businesses, they become these strong black women, and then they throw it up in that person's face about what they don't need and what they don't have to have. And I think that's the difference between me and Astra. You know, we did what we had to do, and then we're still strong. We still, you know, women that make sure we got to do our part as what we want to have in life, but we still, you know what I mean? We don't throw it up in our man's face as to, you know what I mean? Yeah. What we, you know what I'm saying, what we have and what we can be. And I think that's the problem. Yeah. Me personally, I think every woman should go out there and get an education. Yeah. I think they should have their own before they get into a relationship, because sometimes we as women, we lose ourselves in these relationships and in these marriages because we give our all.
Yeah. I agree. So, but why isn't the thinking though that I can do them both?
Well, I think that you can. Yeah. I mean, to that question, you know, just like Sheena said, I think that before you enter into any kind of relationship, you have, male or female, you have to be healed. You have to be whole. Yep. And you have to have, you know, your whole sense of self-worth before entering into any relationship. That's because true. If you enter into a relationship and you are not all of those things, you will bring those things and those negative things into a relationship. Yep. I think to your point, you know, to the question that you asked, you know, if we were to tell women now what they need to know in order to get in a relationship, it's okay to be soft. Yeah.
What would you suggest?
It is okay to be both strong and soft at the same time. I'm strong. I have my own money. Yep. I make 6 figures. Yep. Right? I do all of these things, but at the same time, when I come home, I still know how to go and make my man's plate. I still know how to be, you know, soft, and I still know how to make him feel like a man, because y'all need a lot of attention too. And so at the same time, it's a balancing act. Yeah. You know, I'm all of these things, but at the same time, I'm a soft woman too. Yeah. And I want to lay back and allow my man to do. I don't want to be independent. Okay? I don't get a kick when I say that. I mean, I don't want to be independent when it comes to the things that I want my husband to do. I want to be totally helpless and allow him to do all of those things and show him that I want him to do them. And I don't want to have nothing to do with it. Don't even tell me what you do. Sometimes he's doing certain things and I don't even want to know about it, because that is him and his role, and he takes pride in that. He does. He stick his chest out when it comes to being able to be the man and do that, and I love that. So I want to lay back and know my place as a woman too. And I think the women now of the younger years, they don't understand how to be both.
That's it. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Right, I can be a leader and do all these things, have my own money, but at the same time, when I come home, I can be as helpless as a lamb.
Yep. Turn it off and on.
Well, what would y'all say to the women that are you guys' age, in your age range, that don't have husbands but they want husbands?
Okay, I mean, I'm one of those analytical kind of people, and I always look at things from facts. Okay, let's start peeling the onion back. What are you doing? Okay, let's peel the onion back and let's look at, because I look at facts.
Yes. So when these women say, remember, these are the women in their 40s. They say, well, I make 6 figures. I got my own house. I got my own car. I got my own everything.
What's the problem?
Is that what you asked? Because that's what men ask.
Well, I will ask too, and I will say, well,
yeah.
let's talk about it. How many failed relationships have you had versus positive ones?
That's true.
In those failed relationships, what are some of the things that these men might be saying? Are you hearing some of the same themes?
Yeah.
If so, some of the things that you might be throwing out of the window, you may need to listen, because if you got several different people saying the same thing
Or similar things, right?
or similar things,
You need to look within.
somebody might be telling the truth.
Yeah.
Yep, that's true.
What they say,
So-
if you always show up at the scene of an accident,
Right. Where smoke is fire.
Yep.
a hit
So-
dog will holler. We can keep coming on with these terms, but
Well,
Right.
that's true, though. I agree.
Yeah. So it's a reason why they're still single.
yes.
Yeah.
Because this is what I want women to know. I'm doing this podcast not to bash women. I'm not trying to talk down to women. I have a strong way. I know I understand I have a strong way of coming off of that, and I'm not changing for that. However, what I want women to know is when you operate in your femininity, that's the power that you all women have, that you can influence a man. But it comes from you operating in your femininity. Men don't care about the fact that you make six figures. Do your husbands say, "Oh, Asher, because you make six figures, I love you. You turn me." I was gonna say something vulgar, but I forgot who I was. I forgot that y'all. But he ain't saying he's getting turned on by the fact that you make six figures, is he?
No, he don't care about that.
I know where you guys at too. Is he caring about you making six figures? We don't. Does he care about your degrees? We don't.
What he does care about is that dinner. Okay.
Yes. But women,
Because men are simple.
we're simple.
They're
simple
simple.
things, yeah.
And that's the key to it.
Yeah.
What a lot of women don't pick up on is that here it is that the women, we got a whole long list of, I need this,
Yep.
this. But the men are like, give me some sex, give me some food, and respect me.
And the remote.
That's it.
And let me
That's
watch
it.
my sports and then leave me alone.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
Leave me the hell alone.
Yeah. The list is not, it's
And
not
when
hard.
and ladies, when y'all do that, you get the world.
Yeah.
Because do y'all husbands deny you of anything that you want? Like if he knows that you want something or like do they deny you guys, the ladies?
I can honestly say no.
No.
I know y'all men, and no, they don't. So that's what I want. That's what I want women to know and understand. That's the point. That's the purpose of my podcast. I can't speak for other podcasts, people other podcasts, right? And I'm not here to bash them or anything. They are what they are. But for me, for the Big Divide, I actually want to bridge the gap that we have between men and women. See, if women have a better understanding, like you ladies have a great understanding of your men. And so you adjust yourself accordingly, right?
Yep.
No one is saying that you can't be strong. No one is saying you can't speak your mind, that you can't have your opinion, that you can't have your thoughts, and you don't have your say. You can have that. But that's why I asked you all, how do you approach it? Because a lot of these women will tell you, oh, no man ain't gonna control me and all this kind of stuff. And I'm saying, yeah, but you're not getting the results that you want. So ask yourself, why is that? So that's what I want women to know and understand. Men, what was the song? That song that said, I'll give you the moon, the stars, the earth.
Babyface.
Who was it?
Babyface.
Babyface, right? Like that's what men, that we pride ourselves. We wanna spoil our women.
Yeah.
We wanna spoil our
The
women.
right one.
Yes. Right? You know. Everybody can't just settle down with one, but okay. We ain't gonna go there.
Yeah, we won't go there.
We won't go there right now. Okay. But you know, but my point though is that these men will do whatever it is they deem necessary to make sure that you guys are good.
And we will do the same.
Yeah.
And that's another thing in marriage. Like, you got to go hard for each other.
Yep.
The same way that I know he will, go hard and try to do whatever it is for me, same vice versa. I want to go hard and do the same for him. Like cooking and watching him sit there and eat, he always say, "You so weird." But I will cook and then I will sit there and watch him eat the food, and it gives me like pleasure.
Wow.
Like that gives me pleasure to watch him just like enjoy something that I have made for him. And he's like, "You so crazy. Why are you watching me eat?" But like I enjoy doing that. Yeah.
All right, so my next question is, all right, and you kind of got into it, Astral, so I'm going to stick with you. Who comes first, your husband or the kids?
I think biblically speaking,
Give your disclaimer.
Right.
Give your disclaimer.
I think that the husband comes first. Absolutely. But I think, it depends on the timing of things because, when you got a little bitty baby and, the baby is just born and things of that nature, both of you are putting the baby first. If your child is sick and they really need you or whatever it is, both of you are putting, the child first. And so I really just think, it just depends on the circumstance.
Yeah.
I mean, I want to just say that, there's a different kind of love that you have for your children than you have for your husband.
That's true.
The love that you have for your children is that agape love. Like, it's that love to where I've given birth to a thing. And so it's like, I'm going to, as a mother, always consider my children, but we know, your partner, your spouse, your husband, your wife should come first. But, it
right,
just
Ashley,
really depends.
All right, Ashley, you're dodging it for me, though.
I didn't dodge it. I said it.
No, because you just said biblically the husband's supposed to come first, but
Yes.
you're not answering it to you. So for you, who comes first, your husband or your children?
I answered it. Your husband should come first. But also,
You said should.
Yes.
So when you say should, that's not answering the question.
That is answering the question.
No, when you
Because
say, no, you're not.
It depends on
Production
circumstances.
Production team.
In
What
the
should, when y'all hear
circumstances.
should, is that answering the question?
He said,
So they see
He said,
they don't. So it's a yes.
Your husband comes first.
Okay, your husband comes first.
Yes.
Okay.
But
And
there's
look
a
in the
but.
camera and say that.
Okay, yes. So I think that your husband comes first. However, I think there's a 1A and a 1B to that. Because the 1A and the 1B to that is that there are times when you put your children first. The husband and the wife put the kids first, depending on what's going on. Like if they're sick or something is happening or things of that nature. But ultimately, husband comes first, everything else after. Wife comes first, everything after.
Okay. Because let me do it this way before I go to you, Sheena. Let me do it this way, maybe because this will help you. Well, because if your husbands were here and I asked your husbands the same question, who comes first, your wife or the children? So y'all could ask me that question. Because when I was married, I'll tell you, my wife comes first. Them children, they come after that. There is no 1A and 1B. No, the queen, my wife comes first, then the children. You see the distinction?
Yes.
Okay, Sheena, who comes first, your husband or the children?
Well, my husband comes first. I mean, like he does. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, no ifs, ands, no disclaimers?
No, but I do agree with what Astra is saying is though, with the kids or whatsoever. But I do look at it as when the kids leave the house, it's going to be me and him. You know what I mean? So he going to always come first. He get fed first. Like I tell them, he bring in the money, so he gets to get the plate first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? His clothes gets washed. Everything is him because he's head of the household.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put him first.
Right.
But now a lot of people think different though. You know what I mean? When you talk to a lot of women, they're going to say their kids going to eat first. Or, you know what I mean? It depends on the situation. And I can understand why they say that though. Because as a mom,
I can't understand it all.
I think the husband should always eat first.
Ladies, I'm going to just tell y'all, I can't understand it whatsoever.
Really?
I'm telling you, because when you put your children first before your husband who created these children with you, because the whole, we're talking on the premises is that the man that you marry, you're having these children with him. And with these women who have children with multiple men and all that kind of stuff, I understand why y'all are putting your children first, because you don't have an established man to lead, to be put first. So I understand that. But I don't understand it at all if you're married and you had, because first of all, these are not even your children. You don't hear a man say, I want to have your baby. I want, like y'all say, I want to have his baby. So y'all may not like it, but even the children belong to him. You belong to him, the children belong to him. Now, the children answer to the mothers, the wives answer to the husbands answer to God. There's an order of things. And right now, the reason why we're having these issues is women are out of order. Just say it that way. Women are out of order because they want to be the head, they want to lead, they want to dictate how relationships are, and then on top of that, you want to put the children before the man that's in the house.
Well, we know the women cannot be the head of the household. We already discussed that we don't even want to be the head of the household.
Yeah.
That's not our role. That's not the role that we play. We don't want to be the head of the household. You're speaking of, like we said, some of these new school women that have, things all misconstrued. They don't have things according to God or just according to the order of how things are supposed to be.
Right.
I mean, you have a good man. He is the head of the household.
Yeah.
Period.
So that's why I'm just saying for you that I know, but you were dancing with it. It should have been clear cut. Like, no, my husband comes first, and then the children are next. It's clear cut, and you understand what that does to men. The reason why I'm pointing it out to you all like this is because women need to understand. For men, it's always about our ego. Women tell me, oh, he's on his ego. Yes, that's what drives us, our ego. We get these nice cars and all this stuff to impress you all. And then when you like it, we feel good about ourselves. That's our ego. When you guys give us good compliments, oh, he looks good, he smells good. Baby, come here, let me touch you. Let me touch the back of your head. We feel good about that. That's stroking our egos. So everything about a man is about his ego.
We are aware.
So when it's clear cut, so when someone says who comes first, the reason why that man gets fed first, the reason why that man's clothes get washed, or why he gets taken care of before everybody else gets taken care of, is because you understand it strokes his ego, it makes him feel better about himself, and then he's got the strength that he needs to go out in the world to conquer the world for you all. Y'all see how that works? You understand that?
We do. When you have a good man, yes.
Right. So you're right. So that's why I asked it that way. So when the younger women hear it from you all, it's clear cut. They see, because that's another issue that we're having, is I believe that the older generation is not passing down what they need to the younger generation. See, the younger generation is having to figure it out. And they're having to figure it out on their own. They're relying on a lot of different
That was another thing that I wanted to bring up too.
But maybe it's the makeup of their household.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's don't have that two-parent married household. So you got to understand they're going by what they see or what has been brought to them in their household.
Yeah, think about it. When we grew up, we didn't have, all this internet, social media, TikTok, this, that, all of these things. The things that we saw were the things that we seen at home, our family, the things that, we were able to relate to now. Now they see all of this made up fantasy world things that they see on, social media, thinking that that's real live world, when you only see a fragment of what's going on in these people's lives, and all kind of hell is breaking loose on the back end.
That's true.
So I think it's like social media has really done damage to, our younger generation and what they value and what they see. They're taking a lot less from, their parents and how they see things done, and a lot putting a lot more stock into what they see in the world on social media.
Well, yeah, and that comes from because the family structure
Yep.
is not there. It's been under attack. So I'm not blaming women for all of the reasons why they're single mothers. Especially the black family is under attack, right? They got to get the man out of the house by any means necessary, right? And then to talk to the women and say, oh, you don't need him. Just go get your degrees and go get this stuff, and you don't need the man. So I understand that. However, women, I need women to start fighting back and saying, no, we need our man. I want my man. I want a man. I want to follow a man. I need a man to lead me and all that. Because it's more than just leading you with money and direction, but it's advice, it's wisdom. It's hey, because I gave this example to a bunch of ladies. I want to know what y'all think of this. If you came to your husband, I don't know if y'all would even do this. Would you ever come to your husband and say, you get all dressed up and say, hey, I'm getting ready to go out with the girls tonight. And then your husband turn on you and say, not dressed like that, you are. Would you have a problem with that? Would you have an issue with that?
I mean, I don't think that I'm always most respectful in what I'm wearing, and I keep in mind,
We know better.
you know, how I should be seen and presented and things of that nature. Being a wife, I'm aware of, you know, being a married woman. So I don't ever want to have my husband out here looking crazy or me looking crazy or somebody saying, is that your wife? So I don't think that would ever even happen. I don't even think that we would even get to that.
And I even say that, but I say that because.
But if he did, I mean, I would know that I must be something must be going on.
Yeah, something's wrong.
But I don't even know what that would happen.
Yeah. See, it's unrealistic for you guys because you're in a solid marriage and everything. But this is what's happening. I said this among some other women on the first episode, and all these single women, and they all were trying to they were looking at me and talking to me like I had said something crazy, because they're like, oh, well, he's insecure. He's trying to control me. This is what these women were saying, and I had to point out to them. I said, first of all, if you came to your husband and he was unaware that you were going to go out with the girls, first of all, you got to understand that's a problem. It's not that you're asking for permission, but the fact that you would take the time to make your husband aware, because I know you guys as husbands, y'all know each other. Yeah. If Sheena invites you out, you're going to talk to Jermaine. Sheena's going to talk to Dexter. Say, hey, Sheena and I are going out.
I have to do something called prepare the others.
Prepare the others. Yes.
And when I'm going somewhere, I have to prepare the others at least a week or two in advance, because he'll be like, don't pop up there, know me. I have to know. He wants to know if I'm going in advance.
Is that to be controlling?
I mean, I think that's just from the fact of, you know, he is who he is, and he just wants to be, it's a respect factor.
So it's not controlling. It's not controlling.
I wouldn't call it controlling. I would just call it, he wants to know, as my husband, where I'm going, who I'm going to be with, and not out of respect, the same respect that I would give, you know, him, me, where I'm going ahead of time.
Yeah.
Because I'm not single, so I can't just
go where you want.
I'm going.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even after work, you know, it's like, okay, I'm going here. I'm going there.
Sheena, you got anything to add or say to that?
No, I totally agree with it. You know, with Dexter, I let him know, hey, in a week's in advance or 2 or 3 weeks. Not that last minute stuff, so I might as well forget that. That's not going to work. But like she said, give him, just letting them know in advance, and being respectful. With what I have on and stuff like that, he never has a problem with it, because I know how he is. And I know what to wear and what not to wear. And just, like she said, we'll represent our husband when we go out, and I don't want it to be, in a bad way or in a certain way where he's like, oh my God, look at Dexter wife or whatsoever. So, I've never had that problem of him saying no,
Do you, and with that, with me asking you all that, do you feel like you're giving control to your husbands?
He's the head of the household.
I mean, it's a certain amount of control that I think
And respect.
he
Yeah.
gets. You know, a certain amount that I'm okay with giving. Yeah.
I like that y'all said that because for me, there's a difference between being controlling and having control. See, I went to a therapist. My therapist said this to me. Yes, I have a therapist. I go see a therapist.
And that's a good thing.
I think
I highly recommend it.
That's good.
I
Yes.
I think so.
Yes, I recommend everyone does
Someone
this.
to have someone to talk to.
And
Yes.
she said to me, because I was in this relationship, and the lady kept telling me, you just want to control me. I said, the last thing I want to do is control a woman. That's the last thing I want to do. However, what my therapist said to me is, a man that is out of control, a man that doesn't have control is out of control. And when she said that, I was like, damn, that makes so much sense. A man that does not have control is a man that's out of control. And so, men, I don't want to control anyone, but there's like we said, there's order, and then I do need to be in control of things. So when I ask you all, do you feel like you're given control? I like your answer because yes, you are given control, but that doesn't make your husband controlling.
Right.
And it doesn't make you feel like you're not in control. Am I correct in that?
I totally agree.
Wow. That was eye-opening for me. Okay. All right. So we're getting ready to wrap this up. So I've asked you ladies questions. This is the point in the podcast where you ladies get to ask me any question that you've always wanted to ask a man, whether you've asked your husbands or not, and it could be a question that if you think you ask your husband, it might cause strife or something, or he might not tell you the truth or whatever. But if it's a burning question that as ladies, y'all always wanted to ask a man or wanted to know about men, what would that question be? Sheena, I'm going to start with you.
Why, let me see, why is that submissive. Why is that the first thing that men look for in a relationship? Why, because my thing is with submissive, when a woman being submissive, that's going to come along with it. Especially if they love you and they want to life with you, they're going to do what comes natural when it comes to submissive. Especially if that woman is really in love with you and really into you. But why is that such a big need to be
That's a great
said?
question,
You know what I mean?
Sheena.
Do that make sense?
It does.
Why is that such a big need to be said?
Yeah, I'm going to tell you, the reason why it's a big need for us, because
That ego.
it does feed our ego, but before it feeds our ego, it's respect. Because the fact that you are submitting yourself to the program or to what this man is putting out, to his leadership, it's a sign of respect. Okay. And for men, for us, respect is everything. It starts with respect. So what is love to women? That's respect to men. You understand that?
Yeah.
So that's why the need is so important. When the like a man ain't coming to you and saying, "Oh, you submit to me," like that's just crazy. But when you show that, when you're willingly submitting yourself to this man, it's respect.
Okay. Do they expect that during a not marriage relationship? Like say if you with someone for say 4 or 5 years.
Men expect that, period.
Do they really?
We do. So that's why. So for women, it's different for you all, but for men, because again, it goes to respect. Men, we thrive off of respect. We want respect from other men, and we really want respect from our women. It's a different kind of respect the respect that I want from a man is different, right? But the respect that I want from a woman is like that admiration. She adores you. She listens to you. She wants to cater to you. She wants to nurture you. All those things are a sign of respect to a man.
Okay.
Answer your question?
Yes, you
Well,
did.
that just fed into my question.
Okay.
My question was gonna be, what are the 1, 2, and 3 characteristics of a woman that when you see those in her, you're like, that could be my
Oh, I
wife.
like that one. I like that one.
Good
That
one.
could be
I
my
like
Good
that
one.
one.
The 1, 2, 3. Okay. So first thing is how feminine is she? Is she in her femininity?
Define that.
Meaning she's soft. She's well put together. She's not loud. She's not aggressive. She's not masculine. She doesn't come off as someone that is going to try to control him. Someone that's going to try to dominate him. Someone that is going to try to be over him. Is this a woman that, you know what? If I say to her, hey, you need to move and you need to move now, if she's going to listen right away, she's feminine. So for men, is how feminine is she always operating in her femininity? That's one. So obviously the obvious is her aesthetics, how she looks. That I should have said that first, but that's I guess because
That's number one.
That's number one.
Okay.
That's number one because that's what gets our attention, right? So obviously how the woman looks, and with that, let's just get this out the way right now. All the fake stuff that y'all women think men like, that ain't what they want as wives. We may like it. You may see men like it and give that stuff attention.
When you say all the fake stuff, like what?
Like the fake eyelashes, these wigs, these nails. Now they could be fake nails, but these nails have gotten out of hand. They've gotten out of control. The eyelashes, like we could do completely without the eyelashes. That's something that women do. Y'all doing that for other women. Y'all are not doing that for men because we don't care, right? Like this. There's certain, like all the makeup, like so much makeup to the point where, now we got trans people on here. You can't tell the trans from the real women. And that's a problem because so many of the real women are looking like trans. Not that like the trans are looking like women. The real women are looking like trans. It's crazy.
So what do you think about the plastic surgery part of it?
It just depends.
Do you like the BBLs?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
You don't like that?
Not at all. No. So the men who, they like that stuff for recreational. It's good to put on the videos. It's good to show that stuff. But that ain't what they want as wives. They don't want that as
Okay.
their wives.
Okay.
Okay.
And there's a difference. So they don't want that as wives. So
cute.
so did that answer your question? Oh,
You-
so that was one.
You gave me two.
I gave you one,
One
two.
more.
And 3. All right, so what I said. So we got aesthetics.
Femininity, aesthetics, and
Cooperation.
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 What do you mean?
Oh yeah, what is that?
Cooperation is
You just want us to go along.
Well, whatever.
Okay.
no. See that's
Whatever you
that's
like.
that's how you all think.
Oh, whatever you
I
like.
know, right?
Yeah. See, that's how you all think of it, right? That's how you all think of it. No,
Okay.
for men cooperation it's all the things that you all said that y'all do for y'all men.
Okay.
The fact that you would feed him, right? You cook his meal, and then you get enjoyment out of it. You're cooperative. The fact that he doesn't have to worry about that you're gonna pop something up on him, right? If he asks something of you, he don't have to fight you for it. You don't have to. You're not pulling teeth for you to do it. Y'all willingly do that. That's cooperation for us.
Okay.
It's again. So when women start thinking it's about controlling and having y'all do our bidding, no, those are the men. Stay away from those men. Those are not the men that y'all need to be. Those are not your men. But when he says, "Hey, babe, we need to do this, and that," and you say, "Okay, I'll follow you. I'm with you. You ain't got to tell me twice." That's cooperation.
Okay. Okay.
Cool.
Very good.
Good.
So, ladies, that brings us to the end. I want to again thank you all both for coming.
Yeah.
This was really special for me.
It was
because,
good.
Love
Good
it.
conversation.
Love it.
Yeah,
I really liked
it was
it.
good.
Yes.
See, the next time though, I'm gonna have you ladies back, but I'm gonna have your husbands on,
Oh.
Woo!
and then
Oh
and then
my goodness, that's gonna be a
know,
real
right?
that's
good
gonna
show.
be so the people gonna have to tune in to that.
Yeah.
We're gonna bring the husbands on, so y'all get to see these men face to face, and we're gonna have very similar conversations, right? And I'm gonna see what their response is and what they say. And I know you're probably gonna definitely learn something new about your husband that you guys probably didn't know.
That'd be interesting.
I know.
Right.
Yes.
So again, thank you, ladies. So that wraps us up for another episode of The Big Divide. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Make sure you tune in next week when I have a whole new set of guests and topics and we talk about. I know one of my next topic is I'm talking to a panelist of all men.
Oh.
And we're just gonna talk real men stuff. We're gonna talk about things that we want in women, things we don't want in women. Some of the things that y'all just asked. So,
wow.
With that being said, I want to thank all of my people for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like, and share all the videos and everything from The Big Divide. Until the next episode, peace.
Peace.